play Dream On. This is, it's a very, very simple game, but I think you'll see that it's interesting in a lot of ways because of how it uses the memory mechanism. And it kind of tells you a little bit about yourself and how you remember things, which I always think is kind of interesting. So, first thing we do, we'll move the box over here out of the way so it's on the, okay. We set up our scorecards like so. We shuffle all of these cards, which I've already done. So I don't have to show you that on screen, but there's 150 of them. So it might take a little bit of time, but that's all the components. So we're all set up already. Very simple, very quick, easy to play game. Up how the game works is everybody's going to get 3 cards in their hand, and you can play with up to 7 players, I believe, or as few as 2. Up to 8 players, actually. And I'll be honest, you could probably play this by yourself, although I'm not sure how much fun that would be. Although I'm doing it right now, so you'll get to see how much fun it is for me. And as you can see, these cards just have lots of different illustrations on them. They're all kind of the same artwork that you see on the cover there. So it's very stylistic. It's not like Dixit where they're all paintings, but they're kind of cool little drawings. So what you're doing, and I'm going to play these face up, but you're not supposed to play them face up. You're supposed to hide these from each other so that everybody's kind of adding to the pool together. But you see the 3 different hands I have set up here. Make sure I get these on the screen. All right, and I'll push these back a little bit, make some room. And so what we're going to be doing is we're each going to be playing cards, not really in turn order. You just do it however you want to do it. And we're building a dream. So I'm going to show you how that works real quick. So when it's time to go, we start by putting out the first item. And what I recommend is that everybody says what that is. We agree on what it is. It's nighttime in the woods, right? How about that? That's what we're doing here. Nighttime in the woods. Okay, and it's important because you want to have all the same language for it. The game's actually relatively easy with fewer players. Not easy, but easier. But the more players there are, the harder it is because everybody has their own mental image of what a thing is. And so if somebody says something, it's not really what they think. So you want to make sure you try to agree on it as much as you can. And so the way I've been playing it is, and this doesn't say this in the rulebook, but the way I've been playing it is, as you lay things out, we just say everything in order again, which can slow the game down a little bit, but it makes it a little bit easier to remember, at least when you're learning. So anyways, here's what we do. When we start the game, limited timer, we say, you know, it's nighttime in the woods, and we're going to add things to the tableau. So one at a time, but not in any particular order, and one person can put up multiple cards if they want. You're going to add a card. You're going to say, nighttime in the woods, and the moon disappears. And then the next person says, and we have no idea what's happening. Nighttime in the woods, the moon disappears, we have no idea what's happening. Nighttime in the woods, we have no idea what's happening. Suddenly the sun appears. Nighttime in the woods, no idea what's happening. Suddenly the sun appears, and from the sky falls Superman. Nighttime in the woods, nobody knows what's happening. And suddenly the sun appears, Superman falls down, he's carrying a bunny. Nighttime in the woods, nobody knows what's happening. Superman comes down with a bunny. The bunny is holding a revolver. Nighttime in the woods, nobody knows what's happening. Superman comes down, the bunny is holding a revolver, so he calls the police. Nighttime, nobody knows what's happening. Superman comes down, bunny is holding a revolver, we call the police. The police show up in a construction truck. Nighttime in the woods, nobody knows what's happening. Sun comes out of nowhere. Superman comes down from the sky. Bunny is holding a revolver, calls the police. Construction truck shows up, being driven by a garden gnome. All right, so I'm going to stop there. We're almost out of time anyways. But when you're done with that, you take the cards, you flip them over, and then in player order, we're going to go through and flip one over and try to remember what it is. If you can remember what it is by yourself as the active player, you put the card up here and you say 2 points. So we'll say nighttime in the woods. Boom, 2 points. I remember by myself. Let's say I don't remember the next one by myself. So I ask someone else at the table for help. And people cannot call out while you're playing. They need to be quiet. If someone calls out and says something, then negative 2 points. So don't do that. You want to make sure that you get these right. Okay. So let's say I don't really remember what the next card is, or I'm not 100% sure. Joe, why don't you help me out? And he said, oh, it's the blackout. Okay, so this one now goes on the +1 instead of +2 because I didn't fully remember. Next one, we could say, and then the sun popped up. Oh no, we got it wrong. That's the next card, -2. All right, and now we know, okay, when the sun pops up. So you go through and you do this until you've gone through all the cards. So we can say, and then Superman shows up, and he's carrying a bunny. The bunny has a revolver, so they call the police. I don't remember what happens next. Police show up in a truck, and someone else says a construction truck. Oh, okay, cool. And then nobody remembers the last one. Who was driving the truck? I don't remember. Garden gnome. Okay. So then you add up your points. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. -4 is 10. So we score 10 points. And then it has a handy dandy chart on the back to tell you if that's good or not. 15 or fewer points is bad. But keep in mind, we're doing this on the video, moved really slowly and intentionally missed a couple. What you'll find is if you kind of retell the story as you go through and you do this actively, and you really do need to do it actively out loud, then you'll remember these pretty well. It's actually pretty rare to miss a couple. The thing that tends to happen is you forget the order that they're in. So you, like I said, I forgot the question marks and went straight to the sun. That happens. But completely forgetting what's next is a little rare. You can say getting up to 60 points would be very difficult. That's like 31 plus cards here. So this timer does not go for very long. I think it's a minute, 2 minutes maybe. It's a 1 minute. It's a 2 minute timer, sorry. So you have 2 minutes to get that many cards out and then to remember them all. It seems unlikely, but you can give it a shot. Like I said, it's a little bit easier with fewer players because you can go back and forth, especially if you know each other. Like playing this with your spouse, and you each know, and you're going to remember what the other person thinks. It's a lot easier. But that's it. You can see this is how you play Dream On. It's a pretty good party game. It's also great with kids. I think it plays 7 and up. I played it with my 6-year-old. He had a lot of fun. So there you go. We'll top on back, and I'll tell you what I think.